Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. Today is a Thursday and we're doing an oracle reading for the month of March. And in March, we have Venus going direct. Venus going retrograde, first in Aries, then in Pisces. We have Neptune entering the sign of Aries. We've got two eclipses, one in the lunar eclipse in Virgo, solar eclipse in Aries. What else? Oh, Mercury's going retrograde. So grab some popcorn. It's gonna be a fun show. And so you have the power to create your reality. Wish, 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 wish. Just make it so. So what do you want to have happen? That's the thing. Well, I'm glad you asked because we have some images that you can look at. As soon as I find out where the link is to find, there they are. So I've already pre-shuffled, did a meditation this morning about a half an hour ago, and I want you to focus on which particular image speaks to you the most. Now, if it's the first image, you might say, oh, that's for, you pick your topic, whatever it is, health, wealth, health, passion, purpose. Or maybe you say it's this one, or it's this one, or this one is for this issue, and this one is for that issue, and this one's for that person. Whatever it is, I want you to tune into your intuition and really feel like, oh, okay, yes, this is speaking to me. So that the cards that I pulled, and there are several wanted to come out simultaneously. So we've got for the first image, this first image here, the deck is Colette Baron-Reid's Goddess Oracle. That's for the first image. For the second image, right here, the water into the stream in the woods, is also Colette Baron-Reid, the Oracle of the Seven Energies. That's for image number 2. And then for image number 3, oh, I guess it's a Colette day. I didn't realize they were all Colettes. For image number 3, we have the Enchanted map. Also Colette, the Enchanted map. So please choose your image. I want you to tune in to being very present and allowing your intuition to come through you, to speak to you regarding these images and the messages that occur. That got really big when I moved the mouse. I don't know why I made it. That's for someone going, pick me. All right, we're going to start with the first one and say hello. Come into the chat and say hello. Okay. Well, I love this. Not only does it match aesthetically, because I'm looking at let me just back up for a second. When I looked at these images, I thought for the month of March, let's look at Venus in retrograde and what these things might represent. In my mind, I know what they represent, but in your mind, what do they represent? And so for the first image here, this very moon-like celestial wave, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, we have Uzumi, and it is humor. Can you see that? Humor. And so and 3 cards came out, 2 stuck together, and this was the first one. And it's a 49, 9 are endings, and 4 breaks down to a 22. 4 is all about work and all that, but 4 breaks down to a 22. So you can ask the collective to help you. That's asking for help. But also look at her. She's so happy. She's just happy. It's a Japanese goddess, Uzumi, for humor. And when we're looking at humor, it's important to remember that the lighter you are, the more you have presence of mind and your intuition is wide open. You're a beacon. So if we can take whatever has been happening, if you chose the first image, if we can take whatever's been happening and look at, let's just flow. I see this as aesthetics, as beauty, as sensuality, all the things, some of the things that Venus represents about us. And it's also self-nurturing, a bubble bath. You know, when's the last time you just laughed out loud and didn't take a shower for 3 days? Okay, come on, let's be honest. Some of us do that. Or it's like, I'm not doing the laundry right now. I'm going to give myself a pedicure. Or I want to reassemble the closet and we're moving furniture around. Whatever it is to you that feels like it's lighthearted, because the lighthearted energy brings us to the next card that came out. And this is a Chinese goddess called Lazy. Not as in lazy, but lazy. And it means revelation. What can you come to? Look at what she has in her hand, literally is a lightning bolt. So if you've just undergone something shocking or revelatory, and sometimes they go hand in hand, and you're thinking, how am I going to pay that bill? That I was not expecting that. Or how am I going to resolve that relationship? What do I get? Okay, wait, let me lighten up. First of all, it doesn't have to be so heavy, because lightning bolts can feel heavy. Maybe you need to pivot. Maybe you need to start thinking, okay, I was looking at the downside of this situation. What's the upside? It makes me think of the movie title, The Upside of Anger. Anybody see that movie? Yeah. I think it was, oh gosh, about 10 years ago. But lazy revelation is one of the times it says in the book, who is the mother of lightning, to take the flash of inspiration or awareness and dismantle the past. Unpack it in a different way. They did that to me. This happened to me. I don't know how I'm going to pay for that. Blah. Okay, we're going to unpack that in a different way. So that when you see that flash of inspiration stemming from humor, it's like, oh, you know what? In 100 years, who's going to care? Let me look at it differently. What can I do right now? What spin can I put on it that makes me feel better about who I am and what my possibilities are? So, excuse me. And she even says here, even if you don't understand what's happening, don't second guess. Just get calm. Find something that lightens the load, your spirits, your mind, even if it takes the end of the day and you've got all this stuff you have to get done, really, I mean, unless the building's on fire, right? Do you have to get it done right now? And maybe organize a list and then leave it alone. Know when the pressure is building in you, because the revelation can only come when you're calmer, lighter, when you can exhale. And that it's a transcendent moment, which takes us to, so first we have humor. If you chose image number 1, we have humor. You got to lighten up, got to look for solutions. The 49, 9, you've come to the end of a pattern. The 4 is the hard work and the organization of it, of whatever it is. And then it breaks down to a 22 master number, which is, there are no boxes. I am free. And I'm going to take a different stance. I'm going to lighten my load, ask for help, set something aside, nurture yourself. Look at the flow of this image. I mean, coming from, it almost looks like a moon, coming from this place of emotions, intuition, feeling. That's all about Venus. And letting it flow. Something didn't work out. It fizzled out. Something here is kind of in the mist. It's kind of cloudy. It's not clear. We're flowing into inspiration and passion and fire. And that can be romance. It can be health. It can be anything you want it to be. Anything that you deem is true. I mean, you can even see, I even see a body here, like under a blanket or a sheet, so it's a scroll, whatever you envision. The message really from Revelation is, we get thrown into a dead end, or life throws us a curveball, and we wonder, What did I do to deserve that? On both ends, like, I didn't do anything wrong. Why would that happen? Or, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I must have done something right to deserve that. So wherever you're coming from, just know that it says here, the goddess Lazy reminds you that the great goddess will never give you more than you can handle. Your alignment task is to surrender to what is in front of you. And so even when the collective Abraham talks about this through Esther Hicks, and whom I've studied for over 40 years and listened to, and that is this. We tend to focus on what is right now, and then we blow it up, we magnify it and say, this is what it is. How am I going to do that if this is what it is? Instead of just saying, oh, this is happening. I'm feeling my feelings. I acknowledge I need to set a boundary, or I have to do something different, or I'm going to cry, or I'll just like stomp my feet and have a little 5-minute hissy fit, set the egg timer, and then stop. Especially wherever you live in the world, if your egg timer costs $12.99 a carton, there are solutions. So for 3 weeks, as an example, I could not find organic, hormone-free, antibiotic-free eggs, which I live in the town of that. And I couldn't find them. So I did a little meditation before I went shopping yesterday. And I said, I'm so grateful. Not, oh my gosh, there's not going to be any eggs. That's what I was saying for a week. And then I stopped and said, no, I'm so grateful for the eggs I did find that were affordable. Maybe a little more expensive, but not too bad. And hormone-free, antibiotic-free, possibly locally sourced. And then I walked into the store and there they were. $6.49 instead of $12.99, like they are in some places. So you can manifest by lightening up. What did I just say? Okay, lighten up. She's got the shock of lightning. That's a lightning moment. What's the third card? Because those things lead to a Germanic goddess, and she has the moon. Oh, look at that. She has the moon on her forehead. We have the moon in this image. Her name is Esther. It looks like Esther, but it's Esther, new beginnings. So the moment you can pivot from this is what it is to, okay, I just got thrown sideways by that, to this is happening, to, okay, I'm still grateful for what I do have. And I know that that situation is changing. That's when the new beginnings come. That's for the first image. So all in all, I would say no matter what curveball you feel is being thrown at you by the eclipses and Venus going retrograde, then you can turn it around. Lightening up with humor, understanding that the lightning bolt that just came at you sideways is a teaching tool just to say, get your attention and go, oh, I see. I magnetize that. What can I do to set a boundary to it, to think it through, to feel, to rest, relax, to put a different perspective on it, and then have a new beginning? And speaking of Venus retrograde, that's it for image 1. I put a link in the chat, and on March 1st at, I believe it's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific. Yes. I am hosting a 2.5, probably 3-hour Venus in retrograde event. And it's only going to cost $77. And if you don't have your chart, because we are going to look at where Venus is in your chart, if you don't have your chart, you can go to the link right there that's in the chat to get your natal birth chart. And from there, we're going to see where Venus is transiting right now, first in Aries, then in Pisces, and what you can expect and how you can turn it around. So please get your chart if you don't already have it. In the meantime, look for it on the newsletter, and I'll also post it here in Facebook. Look for the event. Again, it will be on March 1st. Save that date in your calendar. 9 a.m. Pacific. I'll probably go till about 2.5 to 3 hours. I want to make sure you get the best out of the month and a half that's coming up. Okay, so now if you chose image number 2, the more earthly looking image with the flow or whatever it is that you see, I picked the Oracle of the 7 Energies, and the cards that came out first, the number 1 was In Perfect Harmony. And this is a number 11, and it has to do with making music with your pals. If you chose this, let's look at the harmony of nature. And Venus also represents earthly groundedness, growth, and transformation. So we have the flow of water. Image number 1 was the flow of energy. Here's the flow of water and into nature. So In Perfect Harmony really is about partnerships. And Venus, one of the definitions of Venus is harmony and allowing. So the water flows where it needs to. Just like if you're trying to go upstream, it's hard. Like watch a salmon try to get to the top. It's exhausting. So what is the thing that you can do to create harmony between extremes? Now, here the extremes in the image would be earth and then water. One is solid and one is fluid. But what's the balance between the two for you? What is the issue when you say, oh, I'm going on a diet. Oh, screw it. I gave it 10 days. Nothing happened. Now I'm going to take the cookies off the shelf and eat them. Or, well, I'll work out 3 minutes instead of 20. So when the extremes show up in your life, or maybe they're already there and you're drawn to this image because of it, look at where you are not in tune. Remember, we're looking at harmonizing, because when we harmonize our own frequency, what happens next is that we become in tune with, oh my gosh, I get it. I understand it. I'm jumping, I'm bouncing, I'm going between extremes. And this can happen as well in relationships, because if you don't have a harmonious relationship of friends, coworkers, whatever. In fact, a client of mine, actually a Astrology Pro student of mine, had an issue and decided to work out that issue because it was building up and it was building up. And then it was shooting out sideways of what are the potentials? Why is this happening to me? Is it karmic? What the heck? And then she decided to just go forward and harmonize the situation. And the relief that she felt on the inside by just communicating, staying in I messages. I really feel like it would be time to. I really feel like, and if there's something that you would like to talk to me about, I feel like this might be a great time. So harmonizing that and looking at, let me find the next card because it's a segue. And it even says here, in perfect harmony, all it takes is self-honesty and a willingness to heal. You can do it. Fortunate time, which leads us to the second card. Being able to go to the uncharted sea. And the uncharted sea is new territory. Now, if that new territory, and this is a number 46, that's a 1, independence. Oh, we got another one. Here's the original card. Is an 11. 2 1s equal a 2. That is empathy between you and someone else, a group, an ideology, harmonizing extremes is what we're looking at here. With uncharted sea, it's, really taking a risk to do something new, because for the most part, just about everybody follows the pattern of the past. Oh, I did that. When you look at this and you say, oh, that reminds me of the time we went hiking and then I tripped and I fell and I got hurt. So you every time you think about going hiking, there's a glimmer of that memory. And it will alter. What I tell a lot of clients and people is that it's raining, you go outside, you slip, you fall, and then you're injured. And then every time it rains, that moment forward, you have registered that rain equals something not good. That rain equals pain. And it alters your next steps. So the next time it rains or it snows or there's ice, you walk like very old and you're afraid, or you don't go out at all, and thereby limiting your experience. So the uncharted sea is really all about taking that moment of faith and trust and saying, if I came to this earth, I want to flow with it. I want to go with it. I want to see what I can do from this moment on. Because if I don't start trusting, if I don't learn a new way, if I don't study the maps of the past, people have gone in a direction you're about to go in. They may not have the same results, obviously, because they're different people. But if you had a terrible experience with something, it could be something simple. I shopped at a certain store and the service was terrible and the product was broken. If somebody else has the most amazing experience, you question it, right? You say, was it me? The answer is always yes. Was it me? I chose it, but why? Because somewhere deep inside of me, they had the thing on sale and oh my gosh, I have poverty consciousness. And then it comes to light. And this is what we need to harmonize. Because if you say, oh, most of my friends, coworkers, family members, they only call me when they want something, or I'm only there for them when, and they praise me when they want it, and then they're gone because when I need it, they're not there. If that's the pattern, it's not about them. If you're not getting what you need in the world, it's not about the outside world. It looks like it is, again, because we're looking at what is instead of what could be. So we back it up a step with imperfect harmony, and we look at our relationships to ourselves, to when do you ignore your own needs? If you ignore your own needs, you will be ignored by some faction of the planet. It's a frequency you're outputting. You come into the front door, the phone is ringing on the counter, the dog's scratching to go out, you have to go to the bathroom, and you've got groceries in your arm. It was like, what do you do first? Most people would, with the groceries, run to the door to let the dog out or go for the phone, but not the personal need. So think about your patterns, because with uncharted sea and harmony, imperfect harmony, you're getting beyond the extremes. And there's the compass, and you got a little stork. Is that a pelican? And helping you to be your navigator. So you're not alone. And this leads us to, I love this card. Endless possibilities. A 38. What does that equal? An 11. Okay. Is the message clear? I didn't even see that when I pulled these cards. We have an 11, a 1, an 11. Me, them, me. Independence, codependence. Where are we in between the mix? Well, let's flow a little bit more in harmony. Water is a flow that can shape a stone over time. And stones redirect the flow. So we need the harmonization of this energy. So here's this card, Endless Possibilities, with, let me see, with the beautiful star over her head, looking down at the earth. It's a celestial playground. That's what I'm getting right here. Okay, the stars over the head, looking down at the earth. A celestial playground. Endless possibilities. This I have to go to because I haven't seen. The key concepts here are unlimited potential. Let's tap yours. Moving beyond limiting beliefs and the filter of an unhealed past. That's what we were talking about. That's exactly what we were talking about. Using your awareness to discern what is possible and having the courage to leap beyond even that uncharted seas. So you're given permission right now by the universe, by your higher inner self, by these cards that came through me, and you're ready. You're ready to go to someplace new, but don't take the old patterns with you. I'm just going to check in real quick and say hello to whomever's here. I want to take your class for chart reading. Okay, that's different than the Venus in retrograde, but we can get that information to you. Yes, thank you for being here. Okay, so now we're moving on to the third image. If you chose this image, let me just move these cards aside and shake off this feeling from this reading. All the ones and the 11s. I think that's pretty darn profound. All right, thank you. The next one we're moving to is the Enchanted map. And the Enchanted map here, whatever this image says to you, the cards came out. Oh, there's only two. All right, I'll pull one more. First, did I drop it? I'll have to look for it. This one is a 14, so that's a 5, and it's called Ride the Wave. We are riding the wave on this one. A 5 is transformation. It is not being afraid or taking fear with you, but doing it anyway. It's finding your courage. When I look at this image, I just see like the center of it. The center of abundance, that you are magnetizing it to you and you are sending out the frequency. Right now, success is easy and effortless. That's what it says. Just maintain your integrity. I'm going to pull card number 2 because the other one I pulled was the third one. Let me just pull one more for this image. Card number 2, the bridge meaning. And thank you for being here. Bridge meaning for card number 2. We have Ride the Wave. Okay. Here's a 9, sad embrace. Sad embrace. So we have to come to that place of an ending. And a lot of times things will end, but we don't let the thing go. It could be a memento from the past. You're sentimental about something. Maybe someone's passed away in your world. Maybe you're having to leave a job, a relationship, a town, a profession. Maybe you're retiring. Whatever the sad embrace is, it is about the ending of something. And the ending of something usually brings that, oh, I miss that. I wish it were that again. My husband and I will often say, remember when we took Aaliyah to the thing when they were 3? I know. I saved the t-shirt. And then there's only so much of the past that you can accumulate before it weighs you down physically. So it's time to get a little more zen, because when we have Ride the Wave and you're in a transformational place right now, you're changing something at the core level. It's not just a pattern. It's your very DNA. You are altering your DNA, your frequency, so that you can get to that place of expansion beyond the limit. And I think too, well, let me look it up at 45. Let go and allow time to heal you. Yes, anything. Here she says, if your expectations weren't met in whatever situation, a sense of loss arises along with sadness and grief. Express these emotions. Tears are like healing rain that can restore life to a parched inner landscape. Growth is always assured. And so when we let things go, and I would highly recommend, especially we're headed toward March, and as I mentioned earlier, Neptune in Aries is happening. Lunar eclipse in Virgo. Solar eclipse in Aries. Venus going retrograde first in Aries, then in Pisces. Is it the lunar eclipse? Yeah, 23 degrees Virgo. In March, Mercury in retrograde. And so, don't get scared of retrogrades, because from another perspective in the universe, nothing is retrograde. It just shows our perception of what we think. When Mercury goes retrograde, we clear the fixed notions and we revisit something. We renegotiate something. We review something. we renew something or we release it. So, the incoming time is to now, when people pass or a pet's didn't make it through the surgery, it's time to really take that moment and say, I am happy for having had the experience of sharing time and love with my loved one. I am so happy that, okay, my son's getting married, or even though they're moving to a different country, I'm sad about that, but I'm happy. So you want to feel what's happening, because look at this image. It's almost like a fractal image. You're at the center. Everything else is possible, is leading up to that. And from that center, you're creating every single moment. So as you let go of the moments that no longer vibrate in the present, well, you make it present by vibrating it. But if you let it go and allow yourself to transform, then what happens is we have a field of dreams. Number 21, field of dreams, a bunch of fairies sitting on potential eggs in the field, and the heart-shaped clouds with sprinkles, and oh my gosh, it's just very magical. So the field of dreams, I want you to look at this image as if it were your field, your auric field. And if your energy is pulsing sad, regret, sentimentality, loneliness, feel that feeling as you separate the clothes that you're going to donate. You go through the old photographs that you no longer resonate with. You don't talk to those people in 5th grade anymore, right? So if you need to show them to someone and go, this is who I was in 5th grade, you go, okay, I might save one out of 100 pictures, but then you must release and let it go. The field of dreams is creating space, and then looking forward at that space and saying, what can I do next? And she says, be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life, regardless of the temporary outer conditions. And I would add to that, or the past memories that hold you anchored to something. So-and-so wouldn't like that. They've passed on. But I still hold this, for their sake. Well, maybe they don't want that. Maybe what they want for you is to let go and be free. So think about that as you are going through your closets, all the drawers, the garage, the attic, and start to release. Now, in the Northern Hemisphere, we call it spring cleaning, and it's emotional as well. So put on some fun music, make sure you're eating well, and then you open up some part of your heart that says, I feel better. And all I did was clear out the garage. I got overwhelmed, but you know what? I walk in there and everything's organized and neat, and it's only things that I need. There it is. That's the transformation. So whenever you throw something out or give something away, you make space for something new. And this particular image is talking about financial prosperity as well. Big time. Financial prosperity. And let me see. What else? Oh, you'll reap what you have sown. So dream big. And so I think with all 3 images, it's important to note that we bring the law of attraction into manifesting. And that means we look at what is, we validate it by acknowledging it, feel the feeling of it, like, oh, that made me angry, sad, happy, confused, whatever. And then we look to bridge the gap to the future moment where my needs are met, where I can do this, where I am supported, where I am abundant, where I am whole, healthy, vibrant, always moving toward the next best thing. So acknowledge what is, then create a bridge to what's coming so that you bring that closer to you with every thought. I hope this was helpful. Let me just check in. Ooh, that eclipse goes hand in hand with the eclipse season. Yeah. The second set of eclipses will be in September. But right now, we're just going to focus on March and all the things that you are doing, avoiding, hiding from, or being ready to, step out into the world and say, this is me. This is what I value. Because ultimately, that's what Venus represents. It's what you value. Are you ready to proclaim it? All right, my friends. Let me just come back here. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. I will be back. Well, I'll be here on March 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific to host a Venus in retrograde, support, protection, prosperity. And so if you don't have your natal chart, it'll be about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours for $77. You'll see the link coming up in when I send out my emails. Now, if you're not on my list, just go to the link that's right here that I posted, AstrologyMojo .com/chart-reading. And it's actually a chart. You can choose to go get the audio reading, but if it's just the chart, that's complimentary and that's for free. And then we can look at where Venus is transiting in your chart and what it signifies regarding your transformation. All right, now if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a hot second so I can actually create the timestamps for the oracle cards, oracle images that you chose. All right, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for being, as always. I wish you peace, and I will see you, I hope, on March 1st. If not, then the first week of March.